Battlefield 2042's next update promises major improvements, a future Call of Duty game is already in development, No Man's Sky developers making an even bigger game, and much more on This Week in Gaming. Battlefield 2042 community managers announced on Twitter that Update 4.0 will go live sometime next week. This update promises over 400 individual bug fixes and quality of life improvements. These include changes to the RAW, Pike, and Sundance specialists. You'll also get higher XP gains when unlocking ribbons, a weapon attachment overhaul that should hopefully expand gun customization, an option to reduce the opacity of the heads-up display icons, making the UI less cluttered. Lead gameplay designer Drunksy shared that the devs are putting together the full patch notes and that they will release them early next week before the update goes live. In addition to the update news, another DICE developer also shared on Twitter that almost everyone on the dev team are still working on 2042. But before we get into that story, here is a quick word from today's sponsor. If you're a guy, you have a 2 in 3 chance of experiencing hair loss by the age of 35. Sadly, life doesn't have a character creation screen you can just pull up and change how much hair you have left. The good news is, today's sponsor Keeps offers clinically proven treatments to prevent hair loss. You can't get back what you've already lost, but the sooner you start using Keeps, the more you'll save. They know you probably don't have time for doctor's appointments or pharmacy visits, so Keeps does everything online and through the mail. Talk to their expert medical advisors 24/7 and find a routine that works for you. Keeps ships everything directly to your door, so no trips to a doctor's office or pharmacy required. Just visit keeps.com/levelcap and it'll walk you through everything. And while it can take anywhere between 4 and 12 months to start seeing results, I think these before and after photos really speak for themselves. Again, prevention is key, and the sooner you act, the more hair you'll save. If you're ready to start taking action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/levelcap or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/levelcap. Alright, getting back to this developer talking about almost everyone working on 2042, he says that the team are working on many different areas and that a lot of improvements are on the way. Some of these improvements concern specialists. They aren't getting removed, but they are getting reworked. DICE are gearing up for a feedback session about specialists and have already alluded to big changes being in the works. Previous rumors have suggested that most of 2042's developers have moved on to other projects, and while that is standard practice across the industry, it made many players feel like DICE are abandoning 2042 to focus on the next entry in the franchise. EA and DICE are likely working on a Battlefield project for next year, but it's unclear if it'll be a full game, a companion campaign to 2042, a Battle Royale mode, or an entirely new experience. We really have no idea at this point. Call of Duty rumors and leaks are heating up. According to a prominent leaker on Twitter named Ralph, the sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare will be announced on April 30th. This lines up with when many fans would expect an announcement. Modern Warfare 2019, for example, was revealed at the end of May. According to leaker Tom Henderson, Call of Duty's third development studio, Sledgehammer Games, is already developing a new game. He says the studio has begun pre-production on their next Call of Duty project, but he can't share specific details right now. Henderson also notes that the studio is rapidly hiring talent across different fields, presumably preparing for the game's next development. In more concrete Call of Duty news, Activision released a new trailer this week teasing the introduction of King Kong and Godzilla to Vanguard and Warzone. The Caldera map is based in the Pacific, which lines up perfectly with that metaverse setting. Throwing massive monsters into the mix will surely put some life back into Caldera. CD Projekt Red's latest financial call confirmed that the first expansion for Cyberpunk 2077 is delayed to 2023. Nothing specific about the expansion was shared, however, leaks suggest it will massively expand the game's Pacifica area with new enterable buildings, quests, characters, and more. Developers emphasize that most of their time and resources have gone into bug fixing and quality of life improvements. They confirmed that content is still coming but will just take longer than expected. CD Projekt Red also announced that the development of the next-gen upgrade for The Witcher 3 will be handled in-house. Initially, development was outsourced to Saber Interactive, the studio behind the Nintendo Switch conversion of The Witcher 3. No Man's Sky received its latest major expansion this week called Outlaws. The DLC includes a new starship class, the ability to smuggle contraband, and explore all new pirate-controlled spaceports. And while content will continue to roll out for No Man's Sky, Hello Games founder Sean Murray stated that work on the studio's next title is well underway. He confirmed that a small team of developers is working on an incredibly ambitious project similar in scale to No Man's Sky. He noted that even if 1,000 devs were working on this game, it would still be crazy ambitious. The game has no release window, so it's probably a long way off from launch. Halo Infinite's player count on Steam has dropped to its lowest point ever from over 250,000 players at launch to barely 6,000 over the last 30 days. Because of this, many players are going back to the Master Chief Collection. This caused the Master Chief Collection's peak player count to overtake Infinite's this week. The Season 2 update for Halo Infinite launches on May 3rd, and hopefully it'll help revive the game for players. It offers new maps and additional content players have been waiting for. Based on new footage released by the developers, the maps look pretty darn cool. The developers at EA Motive shared another look at the Dead Space remake set to launch next year. They showcased several clips of the famous plasma cutter and pulse rifle in a tweet. The clips compared the audio from the original game to the remake and then again to the remake after implementing community feedback. EA Motive has been extremely open about the development process of Dead Space, even hosting live QA sessions and listening to players. The changes depicted in these latest clips are a result of that open communication. Zombie RPG Dead Island 2 might actually release in the near future. It was announced way back in 2014 but has suffered through development hell. The first game underwent similar treatment but has grown a massive cult following regardless. A rumor online suggests that Dead Island 2 could ship as soon as September this year. This information stems from the Colin Moriarty of the Sacred Symbols podcast. Their sources claim the zombie action game may get a new reveal and launch date. Perhaps the developers will share more details during one of the upcoming gaming events like the Summer Games Fest. Bethesda has confirmed QuakeCon will be held digitally in August. The event will feature tons of giveaways, charity opportunities, and online meetups. Bethesda has assured fans an in-depth event will take place next year. As for what reveals to expect from the event, proper Starfield gameplay, Fallout 76 updates, and maybe a Quake remaster seems pretty likely. A rumor suggests the new Need for Speed game will have anime elements. This information comes from industry insider Jeff Grubb. He claims the next game in the franchise will be next-gen exclusive and feature anime-like aesthetics with anime-style highlights. However, it will retain the realistic look of past titles. Apparently, the game is set in Lakeshore City, the developer's take on Chicago. Before we get to our final story, what do you think of the proposed improvements coming with Update 4.0 for Battlefield 2042? Will it be enough to bring you back to at least check out the game, or are you waiting for more substantial updates? PlayStation unveiled their upgraded virtual reality headset back in January this year. It boasts a refreshed design along with improved specs and visual quality. However, supply chain analyst Ross Young took to Twitter saying it might get delayed to next year. The issue might be the AMOLED displays used in the new CR headset. There doesn't appear to be enough of them to meet demand. Sony has made no official comment regarding such a delay. They also haven't announced a specific release date for the PlayStation VR 2. And that wraps it up for This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.